Once upon a time, there was a wealthy merchant who often traveled for trade. During one of his journeys, he reached a beautiful oasis and decided to rest under a huge tree by a clear spring. The merchant took out some dates to eat, and after finishing, he carelessly threw the pit on the ground. Suddenly, a huge and frightening giant appeared, holding a gleaming sword. He looked at the merchant with intense anger and said, "You scoundrel! You have killed my son." The merchant was taken aback by the giant's words and asked, "How did I kill your son?" The giant replied, "The date pit you threw hit my son in the chest and killed him." The merchant pleaded with the giant, saying, "Sir, I did not mean to kill your son. It was an accident. Please forgive me." But the giant was determined to kill the merchant. The giant said, "There is no room for forgiveness. I must kill you as you killed my son." The merchant asked the giant to grant him time to return home, pay off his debts, and say goodbye to his family, promising to return for his punishment. Reluctantly, the giant agreed and made the merchant vow to return in a year. The merchant returned home, cleared his debts, bid farewell to his family, and then returned to the place where the giant awaited him. The merchant found 3 elders sitting under the tree and shared his story about the giant. They sympathized with him. After a short while, the giant appeared and demanded the merchant prepare for his death. The elders begged the giant to allow them to tell their stories, and the giant agreed. The first elder shared the story of his gazelle, who was actually his cousin's daughter, transformed by his jealous wife. The second elder told of his 2 dogs, who were once his brothers, turned by their envious wives. The third elder recounted the tale of his wife, turned into a mule due to her betrayal. The giant, fascinated by the elders' stories, said to them, "Your stories are more fascinating than the merchant's. I pardon him." Thus, the merchant was saved from death by the 3 elders' remarkable tales.